Hi, welcome back today. Welcome back to Alva's world. So it's Sunday this week, and it's time to record a new episode. Actually, I have a topic for today, for this week's podcast. It's about emotion. I find people it's very hard to control their own emotion. We, as a human, actually, we're not like robots. We're not just programmed machine. We actually have some spiritual parts. That's the amazing things of being a human. And the spiritual part is actually what we call emotion. Those are a very intangible element that lies inside of our physical body. You can't touch them. You can't actually see them. You can't actually describe them in a very logical way, because that's the amazing part of emotion. Emotion is actually the opposite parts of logic, right? So this kind of things, those kind of emotion makes us a complete human being. And sometimes it's good because with those elements, with those sentiment that you can feel around the world that generates some kind of emotions inside your mind or your heart, we can appreciate everything happens around us. But sometimes, if you can't control what you feel or what the feeling that's flooring inside your body, it's really annoying. You kind of get led by something else. I don't know if any one of you have this similar experience before. You might get very hypered on the morning, and suddenly, without any specific event or a situation happened, you just feel very sad and very down. I was about to say depressed, but I think it's not that deep. If you reach the level of depression, maybe you should see a doctor or go outside and have some sunshine on you. Because in our countries, we have a belief that sunshine can actually bring some positive energy inside your body. So we really like to go outside to see the sun, feel the sunshine, feel the moonlight, something like this. Yeah. And when you lost the control over your own emotion, the motivation got deprived of your body. You feel like you just don't want to have any thoughts. You don't want to do anything. You just want to lie on the bed and you just want to be lazy. And being lazy doesn't make you happy. Being lazy is just a part of being controlled by a certain emotion, and you can't cheer yourself up. You can't focus your energy on something concrete, like doing a workout or finishing your job or doing anything that it's normal for you to do on a daily basis. So I think people really need to know how to acknowledge your own emotions. I'm currently reading a book called Foundation. It's a science fiction novel, very famous one, and there's two empires mentioned in the book. One is purely logical science. Those scientists are like live in that like empire one, and there's another empire that is not physical, psychological. There are lots of those intangible things are the most important part to build that second empire up. And they research people's mind, thoughts, and emotion. So kind of two opposite empire. And these two is going to emerge as one, I suppose. I haven't reached the end. So I think these two empire just kind of like what I described as a complete human. What makes a complete human? You have the tangible thing, physical thing, like your skin, your bone, the blood runs in your body, those things like that. But you also have some intangible thing, like those nerves. Is nerve tangible or intangible? I don't know. Your emotion, your happiness, your sadness, your excitement, something like this. You can't prove that they really exist because you can't just draw them on a paper or describe them with logic or figure out what generates them, but they do exist, as we all know. And this is quite amazing. Sometimes when doing some things, the success of the thing doesn't really merely relies on the thing that you do, the concrete things. It also relies on, like, we say, timing and the environment and the lucks of the person, right? So what was I about? What was I gonna say? I just wanna tell you guys that I have a sort of emotion, and I kind of get controlled by that emotion, and I don't feel good, and it kind of bring me to a larger topics of what elements consist of the success of some people or something. And there are always two parts of everything in the world. Like, if you ever read a book called, I don't know what it's called in English, but in Chinese it's called 道德经. the Tao that described in that book is basically what I described as intangible things that round in the world that no one can describe it, no one can name it, but it generates all things, whether it's something you can see or something you can't see, generates all kind of things in our world. And only if you can follow Tao, the discipline, and figure out how it operates, you can succeed. It just told people to follow the discipline, but it doesn't really guarantee that as long as you follow it, you can reach the success that you want. But it do say that if you can follow it, you can actually get your life better. And I just feel like that this kind of thing happens all the time, and our ancestors has already feel it and know those kind of thing, and it just like warm us all the time that you need to put attention to it. But I feel like nowadays many people are just focused too much on the concrete results, right? They just want the data, they just want the analyze, they just want the concrete paperwork, something like that. But actually, if you really want to get something happen, it's not just about those paper thing that you present. And I do feel like people really need to put more focus on not just those scientific thing. Also, the psychological parts should be emphasized. But I think that might not be something that we need to call out and suggest people to do that, because just like I said, there is a doubt in our world. So once the physical parts are getting too heavily emphasized and got overwhelmed, maybe the other side of it people will switch their focus on to the other side, the psychological part. Just like creating a AI agent, you can't just know how to write those programs. Program is like the bomb and the skin of a person, but the taste of the thing that you write or the emotion of that program, that it's hard to be learned, it's hard to be taught, need to be picked up by yourself from your life experience. And everyone have different life experiences, so everyone's tastes are different. Everyone can generate different things. No two person can make two identical things, because we're just so special as an individual. Maybe there are some common pattern as people, as a human, but if we view it from a micro perspective, we are quite unique as individual. No one can exactly walk in other people's shoes. You can only have similar feeling. So even though if you are having hard time it's really hard to get other people to emphasize you. And if you get controlled by your emotion, I think the most useful thing to do can only be you focusing yourself and grow yourself up and give yourself to build a more strong inner core inside of yourself. Just focused on how to not get controlled by your own emotion, but reaching out to other people for help. Maybe that can be an option, but I don't think that will be a very useful thing. So every kind of depression, some kind of mental illness, I don't think it's useful to reach out for help, even if it's a certificated doctor. My personal opinion is that every difficult feelings, every hard time that you're experiencing and you feel like you can't hold it anymore, there's no use to reach out to other people for help. And you just grow yourself and be resilient from those kind of suffering. If you can't, then the winner survived, right? Then you're the loser. You have to admit it. And if you ended up ending the life of yourself, I think that's kind of the Tao thing. So you can't hold it, no one can save you. And if you ended up killing yourself, then that's your fate, that's your destination, right? So if you want to not get swallowed by those intangible things in this world, then the only thing you can do is to equip yourself and be a better version of yourself. Yep. So, life is long for us. No matter you are 10, 20, 30, 50, or even 80, life is still long for us. At every life stage, you have different speeds, right? So when you're at 10, you run. When you're 80, you just maybe you're just moving little by little. So even though you feel like you got a short time for you to lift when you're in 80, but because you're moving slowly, so still it's a long path for you. So no matter what, life is long. We need to save every second in our life and to keep us strong and get us better and better. So I wish you guys that's motivated by this episode, and let us just be the strongest, like the softest person in the world with the strongest inner core. That's kind of the person I want to be. I don't want to be a tough, strong person in appearance, like on the surface. I don't like direct fights with other people. I feel like sometimes being soft and lower yourself in front of other people doesn't mean that you really weak. It can just be one of the strategy you use to interact with other people. So our goal is actually not to be the toughest guy. We want to be the softest person with the strong inner core. Hope we can all be this kind of person one day if you share the same belief with me. But I'm not judging if you want to be the toughest person. All's good. Everyone's have different strategy. Thank you for the listening, and hope you have a good night today. Bye.